welcome back, guys, to the Becoming Spiritual YouTube channel. I'm your host, Baba, and today we want to get into discussing Saturn, and particularly your Saturn return. You know, your Saturn in your chart, depending on what house it's placed in, shows their lessons for this particular lifetime. And at the age of 27 and a half to around 30 and a half, you'll experience your Saturn return, which is when Saturn transits a sign that it was in when you were born. And this should be a period of maturation for you, where you're officially initiated into being a man or a woman. So now you would have graduated from being basically, an adolescent, even though in our layman society we consider adulthood to be anywhere between 18 and 21. But astrologically speaking, you graduate life to become an adult at around 30 years old, right? So this is a time that is often characterized by either obstacles or the overcoming of obstacles, sometimes a complete life change if you're not on the right path, if you didn't learn the lessons that you were here to learn. Right, so it's imperative, guys, that you have your chart, that if you haven't actually done the rectification, if you don't have your birth time, and if you can't get it from your hospital, or at least narrow it down to like the hour or 2 hours as to when you were born, from information from like your family or so on, then you'll have to do a rectification with an astrologer, or you can do it yourself if you know enough about astrology. But this is a time when a lot of people start to experience the majority of their successes. A lot of people come into the ownership of like some significant, like buying your first home, or like starting like something new for yourself, like a new job or something, or something better, like maturing or progressing in particular life goals. Because in those 3 years that's your Saturn return, you would have come into a level of maturation where things and life is much has shown you what it needs to, and you should have learned particular lessons that will now bring you into a higher level of understanding, or just reaping the rewards of the seeds that you'd have sown over the past 30 years, basically, right? You experience a second Saturn return around 58 years old, going into like 60 years old. And this is where, again, depending if the seeds that you were sowing between the ages of 30 and 60 years old weren't really, for your best, then Saturn will come through and like tear everything up and basically take you and replant you somewhere else, or in a different situation. So a lot of times, people go through hardships in these times that will basically either relocate them or just change the situation of their life for the better. Really, it comes as a harsh lesson, or harsh changes, or abrupt changes, but it's for the better, for your better. Right, so it's important that we understand our own personal charts and understand the lessons that we are here to learn. Saturn in your chart will tell you that based on where it's located in your chart, right? So it's important that you guys pay attention to your Saturn, right? It's one of the most significant transition periods in your life that you'll hear any astrologer speak about. All right, and so that's basically that. I won't get on like speaking of like a third Saturn return, because most people don't live to see that. It's around like 87 to 90 years old. Some people are lucky enough to, but it's not many people these days that live that long. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. depending on where your Saturn is placed, depending on the sign and the house, that will give you the complete energy as to what, if it's like interacting with any other planets, that will also tell you a lot. Right, so it's important you pay attention, guys, to your Saturn. Right, and every planet matures at a different age, and I probably should go into like the different ages, of like each planet, like as like, for future videos, and I probably will. But it's important, guys, you pay attention to your Saturn, right? So the sign will give you the energy, and the house will tell you the area of life. Right, so people like that have like a Saturn in Aries, they're like, their lesson is to like become like independent and basically like their own warrior, and depending on where that's placed in your chart, then that will give you like the significance of the particular area of life that Saturn is focused on. All right, so yeah, guys, it's a lot, but as long as you understand like what each zodiacal energy represents and what each house represents, then you'll get it, right? So yeah, that's basically it for Saturn, guys. Yeah, so remember, guys, so like, I mean, a lot of people are watching the videos, but you're not liking, you're not subscribing, not commenting. But it definitely helps the algorithm, and the purpose of this channel primarily is to help people find the information that they need to grow into their best selves and to understand their own lives. So I hope that you guys can go ahead and share and like, comment, subscribe, and help us, or help me, get these messages out to the people that need it, including yourselves. But again, the message will find whosoever it's supposed to in time. So thank you, guys, and with peace and love until next time, take care, guys.